Alright, good evening one and all. Welcome to the video. Has been a long time, haven't created any videos. So yeah, back with another Python tutorial series. In this video, we are gonna do threading. So we're gonna understand completely what threading is all about, and then we'll go to the next level of threading. So basically, if you wanna get data from a threaded function, we use queues and all, but I'm gonna step up the game here also. So this is what eventually we're gonna do. Let's say I only wanna process 3 threads at the time. So we'll do all of that. It's gonna be really interesting video. So even if you know threading, I would highly encourage to watch this video till the end. I'm very sure it's gonna be very informative. So let's get started straight back into action. All right, so I have this JSON document. Okay, I'm gonna process these documents. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a function, a threaded function. So first of all, I'm gonna show you something pretty quick. Okay, so ideally, let me put my microphone here. So I'm gonna say define a function called as some heavy word, because it's some computation, right? Ideally in idle world, in synchronous nature, what we do is basically, let's say you get the function. Actually I'm gonna say, I'm gonna append the time for it. So let's say time. Actually, let me copy the date time snippet. So let me do that, just the snippets. So I just want to print the date time. Okay, so I'm gonna add the date and time to that snippets. Okay, so I'm gonna say simply time right here, date, sleep for about 2 seconds, and then we return the X function. I'm gonna show the nice level of threadings and all. Trust me, it's gonna be really very nice tutorial. So yeah, so in synchronous word, what you would do is basically you would simply say like this, right? You would call some heavy function with this JSON document, right? So that's the version 1. So we're gonna step up the game, okay, slowly. So of course, it's gonna process one document at a time. Of course, I'm not printing it. Ideally, I should print it. So let me print that. I'm gonna stop it. I'm not gonna run for all the 7 documents. It's gonna take 14 seconds. I mean, you hope you got the idea. So each document takes 2 seconds. How we can speed up the process? Okay, now what if I can process these documents simultaneously at the same time? That would be really amazing. So what I can do is basically, now comes the game. So basically, what I'm gonna do is for X in, I'm gonna say JSON threads, right? What I want to do is basically, I wanna basically create a list. I'm gonna use the of course list comprehension and all of that here. First, I'm just showing you a bare board code, so beginners are also watching this tutorial. So what you wanna do, guys, is basically I'm gonna actually append this here. So I'm gonna append a thread, basically threading dot. It's gonna be threading dot thread target is equal to some heavy function. We're gonna supply an args. Let's apply that one. Okay, so after this, if I try to print the threads function or the list, basically, so let's see. Okay, so these are all the basically a class. Now we need to start these, one of them. So ideally, if you wanna, I have taught this in many videos on my threading class. So if you wanna run the thread, so you will say for X in, again you will say those threads, because now we need to start all the threads simultaneously. So we can say simply, we can call the method start on that, and then once that's done, what I can do is for X in threads. We want to wait until and unless the data, the execution of these threads are complete. So just do a join method here. Now the problem is, we can't do a return statement in threads, because whenever you want to return data from a thread, you basically use queues. So I'm gonna say my queue. Let me create a queue here. Okay, so I created a queue here. Now what I'm gonna do is my queue.put. I'm gonna use the put method, and I'm gonna just put the data, the process data. Now when I do the thread.join, that means all the thread execution is complete, right? Now what I can do is basically, I can just write a simple logic while my queue.empty. While it's not empty, pop the item. So I'm gonna say my I'm gonna say get. So let me see this. So I'm gonna run this. All the threads should start at the same time, and you see how fast it is. Ideally, the synchronous takes about 14 seconds, and this takes about 2 seconds. I know people won't believe it, so I usually have to show you all the time. So of course we're gonna step up the game, don't worry. So let me do that one. So you see how threading can, we can run multiple threads at the same time. datetime.now. I'm just gonna print the execution time. So you also always want to write code like asynchronous. Remember that, like you don't want to write synchronous code, right? Nobody, I mean, in industries, everyone needs things to be fast, right? So yeah, so if I run this, it should be ideally each document takes 2 seconds. So for 7 document it takes 14 seconds, but with threading we started the thing at the same time, so ideally it completes in 2 seconds. It's pretty amazing. It's the gist of the idea is just amazing. I just want to show you for idle situation, right, without threading actually. Let me actually comment out all of these stuff. Okay, I want to show you how powerful we can do stuff. So for xin, I'm just gonna show you the bare minimum, I mean without the threading, how it takes. Print x, the same thing, start is equal to datetime.now. Might take a little bit of a while, but it's fine. It's good for initial understanding purposes. Okay, gonna call datetime.now here again. So ideally I can create a decorator function, but you know. So let's do a string formatting here. I'm gonna do end minus start. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. Ideally, let me do that. Oh, I gotta call a function. Always forget that. Okay, so let's see. I mean, it's, you know, it's, of course you're not returning anything because it's putting in the queue, but what all I'm trying to show you here is it takes like 14 seconds. With thread we actually brought down into like few seconds, right? So 14 seconds, right, pretty much. Now the threaded function, gonna comment out this one. Because I'm gonna put this code for you guys to play, right? Because unless and until you do it, don't expect to get it, like understand it. I mean, unless you do it, you're not gonna understand it. That's the thing, right? So, okay, so that's the threaded one. Now let's step up the game. Okay, perfect. It's gonna take 2 seconds to process all the stuff. Perfect. Now what I'm saying is I'm giving you a task, guys. Okay, now let's say you have 1000 JSON documents. That means you will launch 1000 threads to process them simultaneously. But remember guys, you know, in threading also there is a limit to which the number of threads you can launch. 1000, 2000, 10,000. What if you have more than that? More than massive JSON files you want to process? Are you going to launch like 15,000, 1 lakh threads? No, it's not possible. That's not technically done. What you want to do is you want to define a system where you can launch minimum number of threads. That means it will process 7 threads at a time. So once all the 7 threads are complete, then the next 7 threads, and the next 7 threads, and the next 7 threads. You want to keep doing that. Now that's a little tricky, you know, the way you do that. So I mean, this is a version 2. Okay, so now version 3 of this. Okay, so I'm gonna put this separator marks here. Okay, so the next version, what I'm gonna do is basically, as I said, I wanna launch 2 threads, it completes, then the next 2 threads, then the next 2 threads, and the next 2 threads. How do I even do that? Okay, so I had the snippets here. I actually wrote everything for you guys here. So let me show you the gist of the idea. Okay, so what I'm gonna plan to do is basically, first of all, of course, I need a function here called as, I need a list actually called as threads. So for xin, I'm gonna say for xin JSON data, right? I mean, actually, you know what? I can do this in one line only. I mean, I can use list comprehension. Let's use the best practice. So let's say I'm gonna say threading.thread target is equal to some heavy work. I'm gonna supply an arguments is gonna be x. I'm gonna give an x for x in JSON data. Okay, so if I do print threads, okay, it's gonna be an array, right? So hopefully, perfect, it's an array. Now what we want to do, guys, is basically we want to do a formula, mathematical equation. So you know this is an array, right? I'm gonna show you. Okay, hold on. This is thread 0, thread 1, and thread 2, and so on. What we want to do is basically, I'm proposing you is basically first time launch thread 1 and thread 2 at the same time. So process those. Second time do thread 2 and thread 3. So basically keep processing batches of threads. Now how the hell do I do that? So basically we have to develop a mathematical equation. It's very simple, it's not that complicated. So what we do is basically we say for I in, I can say for I in from 0 comma length of threads. See how I'm doing it. Oh, come on. Okay, so I'm gonna say threads, okay. Oops, my fingers are slipping from a keyboard. That's fine, no worries. Hold on, what the hell is going on? Hold on, let me just type it again. So for basically for I in range, I'm gonna say, hey, I wanna get a range of all the threads I have, okay? And I wanna develop an equation. As I said, I wanna do, so let me see if you guys agree with this. So 2 into I plus 2. Let me show you. And we do if length of so we say 2 into I plus 2 less than length of. Now I'll explain you what the hell is going on. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm slicing the list element. So I'm going to show you what happens. 0 to 2, that means, you know how the list works. If you say 0, it's gonna grab. So if I want to just show you, I'm actually, you know, revising your old concept. So always, you know, your concept should be very fundamental in everything. So when I say 0, right? So when I say 0 to 2, what element do you expect to get, right? So you basically expect to get the element. It's gonna give you 1 and 2. Although the indices starts from here, you know, like, oh damn it, it's hard to type, man. You see, so from 0 to 2, when I say 0 to 2, that means it's gonna grab these two. So n minus 1, okay, always. So funda clear hai beta. Ab kya karna hai? So now what we're gonna do is basically we wanna slice these elements, right? So I'm gonna define a throwaway operator or a temp basically. What I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna slice the threads. So basically an array or whatever you wanna call, a stack or whatever fancy name you wanna give. So I'm actually gonna slice it and I'm gonna say 2 into I plus 2. Okay, so and then what we will do is for I in, not I, let's use it J in, I'm gonna say temp. And what I'm gonna do is basically this is an instance of a class. So I'm gonna call the start method on that. Once I start that, what I'm gonna do is I wanna wait for those two threads to complete. So for J in again, I'm gonna say temp because we are launching in a batch of 2, right? So we say this and then we say J dot. Actually we're going to do a join because you want to wait, right? And keep doing this unless, so for all the 8 sets, so basically 2 2 2 2 0 0, sorry, thread 1 thread 2 thread 2 thread 3 thread 4 thread 5 thread 6 thread 7. So basically we go in parallel, like basically 2 of them, you can say 3 4 5, whatever batch size you want to do. Okay, so I did that. Okay, now the tricky part is now we put the value in the queue, of course, the same old logic. Now what we do is basically there are 2 ways to, of course, like get, I mean, once it's over, of course the value is there in the queue, so of course we can say while, but I'm gonna show you the other method as well. Yeah, let me show you the easy way, let me not complicate stuff for you guys. So while not in queue.empty, I'm gonna say, well, it's not empty, keep popping the items. So I'm gonna say my queue dot, let's say my queue dot get. Okay, so this should work in theory. Also, let's try to time out this function as well. So want to show you how powerful it is, you know, threading. So initially we were taking 14 seconds and now let's see. So I'm gonna actually say datetime.now print. Yeah, of course it's a lot of code I wrote, but yeah, efficiency, you know, gonna say n minus start. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's run this. Oops, we have an error here, and let me see what the error is. Actually, I'm pretty sure somewhere or the you know, I usually do this typo for J in temp. Let me see. I had the snippets here, so hopefully I mean I have everything here. I was trying to. Hopefully, let me see if I can, you know, quickly point out maybe something in the formula I've done wrong. So for 2 into I plus 1, that is basically 2 into I is 0, that is 0 plus 1, that is, I think 2 into I plus 1. So initially it will be 0 if it's 0, if 1 is less than length of the threads, which is true. That's weird. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm missing somewhere something, but let's not waste time on that, and hope you have just got the concept, because I have the code there, right? So I can just take it from there. Let me see. For I in range, length of threads, okay, so this is gonna print basically all the length of threads, and then we say if it is less than the length, okay, I can actually do this. Hold on. Let's try to fix the error, okay, instead of just running away from the errors, which is not going to help us anyway. So I want to debug it and see where exactly I'm going wrong. Okay, so thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4, 5 and 6 makes sense. Now we launch the thread, okay, so this should not give me any errors as well. I'm just iterating over that array, and just for each thread I'm just calling the start method. Once I do that, this also should not give me errors, because initially what I'm doing is I'm just iterating and I'm calling the join method on those two threads. And once that is done, it's gonna keep it's gonna keep doing that unless and until it's done for the all the processes. And then I think this is where my logic is like little wacky. So I'm pretty sure while not my queue.empty, while the queue is not empty, that means if queue is empty, it's true. Not means false, it's not going to execute. If the queue is not empty, is false, then it's going to be true. So this loop is going to be executing. Where did I miss something? That's the thing. I usually I don't know, I'm missing some colon or whatever somewhere, because that's why it's giving me these some heavy takes. I see where I'm missing. I forgot the comma, that's the reason. Yeah, I should read my errors, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. See, now I'm gonna run it. So it's basically working in a batch of 2, okay? 2 threads, then 2 threads. So it took 6 seconds, which makes sense because 2 threads will do 2 jobs at the same time. Then the next 2 threads, 2 things at the time, 2. So basically we're doing 2 threads, right? So yeah, feel free to play with the code and try it out by yourself. Remember, in programming there is it said watching won't help, doing will actually help. So if you really want to learn it, try it out. Simple example, it takes like 15 minutes on your computer, and there are a lot of online Python editors, right? You don't even have to have a good computer, so you can't. So don't give excuses like, hey, you don't have a computer or laptop. If you are watching this video, you can just go to Google or REPL it and then code it, right? So hope you have enjoyed it. As usual, guys, keep smiling, keep coding. Have any questions, put your question in the comment section. Would be very happy to assist you. Once again, thank you for love, thank you for support, and see you guys next time.